Hello, YouTube. My name is Yamakar, and I'll be your master pasta chef for this series. This series, dubbed From Zero to Pasta, we will be aiming to launch a rocket and achieve a steady 500 science packs per minute, which is, arguably, an entry to a mega base. So turn your stoves on, put a pot of water on the stove, and let's get ready to make some epic pasta. This series, we will be going over the basics, and then going into building a mega base. So we'll start with the very basics. So if you're a first-time Factorio player, this guide series will be for you. So first thing you want to do when you start playing Factorio is obviously start the game, but then you're going to want to choose one of these settings here. I'm going to choose single player because I'm playing single player. We're also going to go new game because we're not loading a game. A couple of options right here, tutorial, free play, and then some game scenarios. We will be doing a free play for this. Tutorial is arguably very good, so if you're looking at your first time ever playing, you could do the tutorial or you could follow along with me. So we're going to click free play and go on from there. Next we have a few options with our map generator. You have a couple different settings here. You got default, rich resources, marathon, death world, marathon, rail world, ribbon world, and island. We'll be doing my favorite map setting, which is rail world, and I'll explain that in a second. So we're going to click preview on this map, and this is the seed that we are going to be playing. This seed I will have written in the comments, which you can copy and paste right into the top right here, and you can go from there. So rail world, default, rich resources, marathon. What are the difference? Default, it's the same map. You can see the water is still in the same location. Nothing changed there. The water is still same. What does change though is the settings here. So resources, the richness, frequency, and size changes. So frequency is how often is found on the map. Size is how big of a deposit it is, and richness is how much is in that deposit. So all important settings. Terrain adds water, the amount of water on the map, the amount of trees, the amount of cliffs, moisture, changes other settings like how green or not green the map is. We're going to leave all of these settings on default. Enemy, we're also going to leave on default, but you'll notice by jumping through the different settings, it plays around the sliders for you. We are going to be doing rail world. Why rail world is one of my favorite settings is, first off, trains. Trains in Factorio are awesome. Second, it has enemy expansion as default turned off. What that means is once you kill some of these bad guys, or maybe they're the good guys, I don't know. Once you kill them, they will never evolve and build another base elsewhere. So they'll stay here. We kill that, they'll never come back. They might attack me from here instead or from here, but once this colony is dead, they will never come back. So beautiful, beautiful setting. Resources, the frequency is lowered, the size is cranked up, and the richness is the same. Terrain pretty much stays the same as default. Enemy, we already went over enemy. The frequency of enemy bases, you change that slider. There's just more bases everywhere. So we're going to leave that as default as well. Advanced settings, this is where your marathon settings come into play. It changes your resources, recipes to expensive, which means that instead of using one iron gear wheel, it'll use 2, for example, or instead of 1 copper cable, it'll use 5. Those are just examples. They're not actually what it does, but something similar to that. Very balanced play, though, if you're looking for something different to do. Technology expensive just means you get a multiplier on the cost for it. So we're not going to touch any of that. We're going to leave this as default. We're going to go back to rail world, default rail world settings. So nothing changed in the settings. Again, the seed and the map exchange seed will be in the comments below. So this is our map right here. We got a little bit of iron together, copper, stone, and coal. They're all right grouped on top of each other, which is fantastic for building your starter base. The next thing I do look for on my first ever map is oil. Oil needs to be somewhere on this map. If you don't see oil, because sometimes it spawns way up in the middle of nowhere, I would suggest probably re-rolling your map. But if you're playing the same map as me, know why I chose this map was because of the oil right here and because of this grouped resource right there. So we'll build our kind of starter factory here and then move off from there. So without further ado, let's get into it. The good cutscene. The enjoyable cutscene. This was added with 1.0 and it is very, very beautiful. Very beautiful, the rocket ship. It does have some supplies inside of it, so if you're looking to kind of get started a little bit faster, you can grab some stuff from right in there. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to start mining. So we place down our burner mining drill, which is going to extract the iron from the ground, and it's going to put it into our furnace. So the burner mining drill goes into the furnace. We create resources. We just press Alt there, which toggles what's inside of the building. So we can see what's inside of the building. You also notice that I didn't actually drag the wood into the indicator or into the fuel slot. I control left click and it grabbed everything I had and put it into my furnace. So nice helpful key there. You can also have the wood in your hand or the coal or whatever fuel you have and press Z on top of the building and hold it. And you can drop the resource off like that as well. So now we're going to go on a little bit of a scouting mission. We're going to look for rocks quickly. So we're going to grab our deconstruction planner, which is right down here. And we're going to kind of toggle across here and see what we see. This will tell the bots what they're going to take apart. We don't have bots obviously yet, but we can see that right now there's only wood on that indicator. There's no stone. What we're looking for is big, big rocks. It looks like we don't have any rocks to mine. Sometimes you'll see these big jumbo rocks and they'll have 20 stone in it or something. Kind of helps to kickstart your factory if you're into that. So again, we're just hovering over. We see there is a rock there somewhere. So we moved in. We see there's a bit of stone. Not sure where it is. Could be down here. It's over here. I'm not sure where you're hiding. Where are you hiding? Where are you? It's like right on the edge here somewhere. At this point, it's not really worth me looking for anymore. It's just 20 stone and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So we could have just been manually mining stone, but it's always worth a check. So if you see a big rock on the map, go hit it. Some of them have coal in it as well. And coal is early game fuel. So good stuff to have right off the hop. Right off the hop. So we're going to go into our crafting menu. We're going to get another mining drill. And with our first mining drill, we're going to place it down right there. Well, actually, technically our second mining drill, I guess. We're going to grab some of this wood. Pick it up, drop it in there. And we're going to keep chopping some trees down. Try and bootstrap our factory. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we're going to build a chest to offload this stone into. And I'm going to actually place it in the right location. Good. So now we have a bit of stone coming in. And the stone means I can make more furnaces and we can go from there. So these burning mining drills need gears. So we're going to handcraft some gears quickly. And we're going to keep mining some stone just to try and get some more burner mining drills. So we need iron, copper, and coal. We have the stone automated right now. It's kind of slowly coming in. We're going to shift. Actually, we're going to control left click to take the resource out of the building. So if it's in the building, control left click, we'll pull it out. Works on storage as well. Control left click. Pulls all the resources out immediately. We actually need another furnace. So we could do this as well. Kind of make all the burner mining drills work into each other like that. Beautiful. We want one more, one more. Come on, you got one more. There you go. That gives me 2 and 2. And then we need more fuel. So you can press Q on top of a building, the burner mining drill, or actually on the iron as well, and it'll pick up the burner mining drill. And then right click and chop some more trees down. Chop, chop, chop. We need the fuel. So we're going to go back over here and we're going to press Z on the buildings and distribute our wood. We still need more fuel though. So for the first few minutes, don't be surprised if you're chopping trees. You need to power this factory. This factory will not power itself. Okay, so we have 56 wood. That's a good amount. So again, we're just holding Z and dumping it all in the buildings right there. Easy, easy. We're going to go back to our stone. And we have 30 stone there for us. That's beautiful. Now we move up to our coal. So now we don't want to chop trees anymore. As exciting as chopping trees is, we don't want to do that. So we are going to place these, kind of a daisy chain. So you see I actually just placed a ghost building there. We're going to go into settings here for a second and show you what setting we have for that. So we go into other, there's nothing there, just auto save stuff. You go to interface, and you have a whole bunch of different interface options here. Show minimap, tips and tricks notifications. It should be on by default. I turned it off. I don't really need tips and tricks at 6,000 hours played. I guess you maybe do. I don't know. Probably learn something new every day, but we'll keep it like that. The item that I have picked here, where I can see the ghost building, is this. So I click that. If you have that selected, you can place your building. If you don't have it, just to kind of make a mental note of what you're trying to do. It doesn't actually place the building, and it's just a mental note. Here we're going to control left click and see this building has no fuel in it, but it's still working because it's burning the initial fuel right here. You can see it burning it. The system works by feeding the coal into the other buildings, and then I just pull out of the mining drills. So it doesn't matter if it's running out, because as long as one has fuel, it works. So now we have 23 coal. So we can go back over here and dump our coal in there. But now we want more iron. Not enough iron. Insufficient iron. We'll run back over to our iron setup and place a couple more of these guys down. Something like that. We will grab a little bit of wood here. We do need some power lines eventually. Right now we can only make power lines with wood, so pretty much can't have too much wood. Not in the early game anyways. So dump that back in there. And then we're going to go pick up our coal in a second. So 24 more stones. That's decent. And we're just going to keep expanding this little operation here. Control left click again. And now we have 48 coal. So 48 fuel. Put a furnace there, which I don't have any of. Go back over there. Grab some more stone. If it's your first time playing, I am playing moderately fast. So if it's your first time, you're probably not playing as fast as me. And that's okay. Slow and steady wins the race. It is not a sprint. Factorio is a marathon. Again, I have around 6,000 hours played, so if you can keep up with me and it's your first time playing, you are doing fantastic. Okay, so we just kind of move the chest there. That way I could put another mining drill in there. Control left click, pull the items out again. Now we actually need some of this. This being copper. Dump a bit of coal right there. Grab some more of that. Build a few more furnaces. Okay, so now we have copper, iron, stone, and coal. Automated. Well, kind of automated. Kind of automated. Just dump that back in there. Grab some of that. We are going to make just a few more now. Just so I have enough to keep working at all times. If you pick up the building, you don't lose anything, so there's no punishment for building too much at the beginning. Other than just being slow and letting the biters evolve on you. So. Biters being these bad guys up there. So there we go. Now we got 8 of those, and they're all daisy chained into each other. So that's beautiful. A little bit more stone. Put those there. Now we have our last furnaces. And we're going to offload this. Now we have 12. There's no perfectly set amount of how much you want to build at the beginning. Just enough. Now we're going to make power. So we're going to make some steam engines. But we also need a boiler, a science lab, a few power lines. We're going to do a couple pipes because I don't like building my power on the water source. I like to kind of push it out. And then we also need an offshore pump. So So grab that, off our pump. So you can see our crafting list right here on the bottom. Just crafting. A few more of those. And then we're going to need some science packs. So right now we currently have none. And we're going to have to choose what science we want. So I'm going to go with automation first, because I do not want to have to handcraft everything. So we'll have the buildings build items for us. It's a game about making a factory, so kind of makes sense to do that first. So while that's happening, we're going to keep making these work. Keep it going. Can't stop, won't stop. Grab some more coal. We'll put a lab right over here, and we will put our power right here. Obviously not working yet, so it does not have a water input. Just going to kind of chop our way through the forest here. Trees. Trees and trains, the real enemy in Factorio. Doesn't have to be clear all the way through, but just kind of makes your life easier if it is clear all the way through. Because I can't see anything back here. So we should have our water pump already built. Put you right there. Put the water pump right there. And now you can see there's water in this pipe. Even though you can't see the pipe, you can see the water symbol. So we can tell that there is water in that pipe. You can go all the way down and see that there's still fluid in the system. So this is good to go. So now you have fuel. So note how this is connected. Water goes in here, steam goes up here, and it powers one boiler, powers 2 steam engines. So this works as is. We're not actually pulling any power yet because there's nothing really to feed, but now we're making science. So we got our 2 red science packs. We crafted in our back pocket. You can single click, you can shift left click and build all of it. But the issue with single left clicking is it crafts the items in order. So it's going to make 17 gears and then it's going to make the science packs. So we don't actually want to do that. So we're going to cancel those. So they're canceled. Then you can right click and make 5 at a time. So you can either make a lot at a time or 5 at a time or single click or do whatever you want. Lots of different ways of skinning that cat, I guess you could say. We're gonna dump that there. Put those science packs in here. But see, I want it as I get them to be able to drop them into the lab. Not have them all build at once. So at least we can start this party. So you go there. I'm actually gonna give it that, not the wood. See, this is all ran out of fuel. We put it all back in there. Good to go. And then we'll power our copper. So now that we have power, we want to make some automated mining drills. So right now, as we currently speak, we have burner mining drills, which I need to manually add coal to. You could automate them by kind of having them on a belt and having inserters and feeding it that way. But the easiest way, typically, and the way you kind of want to play, is by making electric mining drills. They will use the power and they will generate. And they will generate the resources that way instead of me having to manually feed them. Manual is fine for the first half an hour. But after that, you want to start moving on with your life. We're going to cancel that and we want these burner mining drills now. So automation is now finished. Next thing I'm going to do is logistics, which gives me underground belts. Which means I can start building pasta. We want the pasta. So the first building I can build is this assembler. We're actually going to kind of cancel everything. I want this first building built. Make a few assemblers, and then we're going to make a couple mining drills. We'll make a few chests. And a few inserters. So the first building right here. You can pick it up. Doesn't matter if you place it in the wrong spot. It's going to make us some red science. So in order to make the red science, I need copper, but I also need gears. So you're going to make gears for me. So right now this is making gears. This needs copper and gears to make my red science. So kind of started, but not really, because it's kind of half automated right now. You are going to make me some stone furnaces. I should probably move it over here, because I need stone furnaces and my crafting queue is full. So make me some stone furnaces. Again, a temporary set down doesn't really matter because you can pick it up and move it around later on, so no problem. Okay, you're good there. The first thing I typically want to do is automate science, but I also want to automate belts. So we're going to build transport belts in this building. It's obviously not automated in any way, shape, or form. And this building here is going to make gears, but we're going to kind of make gears right here. So you can actually shift right click and shift left click, and it copies the recipe. So if you have two buildings building the same item, shift right click and shift left click. You can see it's green on the bottom left one there and yellow on the top. It's copying the recipe to that building. So I'm going to dump all my iron into this. It's going to start making gears for me, and you're still missing gears. So now we automate. So now this is making belts for me. Has nowhere to put them though, so we leave it like that. Now it's half automated right now because this doesn't have any iron plates in it. So there, have an iron plate. It's going to put the iron plates in here. This is going to get the gears, but it's still missing iron plates as well. Not automated. So we're going to grab the iron plates from down here and put them in a chest there. I believe they call that bootstrapping in the speedrunning community. It's kind of a faster way of playing. Not everybody plays that way, but it is a way of playing. So we have a bit of copper. Not a lot of copper. I definitely need more copper. Copper's a little bit sad, but I do have a bunch of belts right now. So we're going to grab the belts. Run the belts down here. And the first thing we want to automate is our power. Everyone has kind of a preference of what they want to automate first. I personally prefer automating my power first. So now you're going to get an inserter. And this whole setup is powering itself. And it's kind of making belts for me. Kind of. Sort of works. But one thing I definitely do not have enough of anymore is copper. So let's now automate our copper. It's the next resource I'm kind of lacking, so let's do it. I think I'm going to relocate these. I don't really like that position, so press Q on here now, and now it automatically goes to a mining drill as opposed to a burner. Why? I think because the last building I placed was a... The last building I placed was a mining drill, so kind of defaults to that. So this is making science, and it's automated in. Good, good, good. You could bootstrap this better than I have done, but this works for all intents and purposes. Grab you. Grab the power. I'm gonna bring a belt down this way. And a belt to there. I still need a few more belts if we want to properly automate this. This is why it's nice to have the belts automated right at the beginning, because you need a lot of them. So 35 more belts. We need a bit more copper. Still do not have enough copper. 51 copper. So I'm going to do a little more of an advanced strategy right here. So we're going to put items on both sides of the belt. So Factorio is a belt mechanic in the game where items can be on either the left side or the right side of the belt, or top or bottom. Here we're going to put both items on this belt. So we know that in order to craft copper plates, we need fuel for our furnaces, and we also need copper. This setup is going to give the furnaces both the items they need on one belt. So you could have this item automatic, like on a belt below it as well, or you could just put them together. So by the belt loading on top like this, it's forcing the item to be on the top and this one on the bottom. So a little bit of belt manipulation there. We do all sorts of interesting things, but for now, this is how we'll do it. So now we have our copper automated. Next item I'm going to move towards is, we'll do some gun turrets. I don't want to get attacked by the biters. They're pretty close to us, and I'd rather not lose my factory in front of the entire world. It would be very embarrassing. So we're going to fuel these back on. Grab our iron. Lots and lots of iron. That's beautiful. That is what you want to see. You can control click to drop an entire stack into the building. That's what we just did there. So this is doing its thing. This is actually probably more copper than I can handle right now. So that's good. Okay. So there we go. Now we place some ghost belts down just so we remember what we're trying to do. Kind of sort of obvious what we're trying to do next, but just in case, you never know. So this is still crafting. This had enough gears to make this work for a while. So that is nice. Now we kind of want to automate our science. It's kind of the next big step. So the power automated. It's kind of feeding itself with power. And we have a secondary line fueling these beautiful drills right here. Now we want to automate our science. So science needs a couple things. It needs copper. And also needs iron. So it needs something like this, but it also needs an item on the other side. So what we could do here is... Oops. Push Q, pick up the building, put it like that. So we have one item we need right here. That perfectly didn't work. So the copper is going to get pushed off this smelter. And go right there. Our science is finished. We press T and we go back into here. We're going to go military too. Let's kind of make sure we're nice and well defended. Next, we need some more mining drills because now we need to do the exact same thing with the iron. I'm going to grab this for a second. Actually, I can't even build that right now. So we need to do the exact same thing with our iron. Gonna grab some more coal and kind of fuel all that back up. So we have one miner drill right now. I typically don't pick up my rocket on the ground. Why? It's a personal thing. It was not a thing early game Factorio. We played Factorio back in the day. Spaceship wasn't here, so it's kind of like a nice legacy item to keep on the ground. I think you'll see a lot of more Factorio veterans leave it on the ground. Because we think it looks beautiful. So this is okay there. You might need a little bit more iron. So... you're okay there as well. So we got 15 science backed up, which is nice. Now you may have noticed I queued up this splitter building next. So we have a few mining drills. Ready to go here in a minute. I also need to decide where I want to smelt this. It's not really a good spot for smelting it right now. I want to give it a lot of space. It's a pretty you need a lot of iron later on. Even our current setup, we probably don't have enough iron. Build a few more furnaces. So we're going to grab the splitter, and we're going to do exactly what the name implies. Split the belts. And then we're going to do the exact same thing right down here with this. Now our belts kind of crisscrossing each other. So remember we researched our first research ever. We scroll down, or second I guess was logistics, which gives us underground belts. So now I can actually belt it underneath this other belt, which is super awesome. And then we kind of copy the same thing. Now, if you build something really intricate and you're not really sure how to rebuild it, you actually Control C, Control V, and copy it. And it places a ghost now of your entire setup. Which is super nice for later on when you make some really, really complicated things. Super, super, super nice. You can tell we do not have enough fuel, so we kind of spike this up a little bit there. So now you should be okay with the fuel. This is not powered yet. Okay. We're actually going to relocate that belt and go the exact opposite way with it. So you're there, and we probably need a few more mining drills. Looks like this needs a little bit more. Military is finished. So we are going to handcraft ourselves a submachine gun and make a little bit of ammo. We're also going to place down a turret quickly. I'm going to grab some more iron from my little bootstrap factory over here, and we are going to upgrade. Doesn't really matter what you do next. You're going to need it all later, so I really don't have a huge preference after this current point. Once this starts pulling more power, if you click on the power line, it shows your power usage. It's going to start eating the coal faster and faster and faster. So, something to also consider. Okay. So, iron is now automated. Which is awesome. We got this right there. And we are going to run it right next to the other line. So this needs gears. That's actually not what I want to steal. I want to steal from down here. But we're going to grab some fuel before we steal it. Grab me some fuel. And we just kind of hover Z over top of it and fill them all back up. Grab that, grab that. Good to go. So do you have a turret? Turret has a little green radius circle on the bottom that shows where it's going to shoot. Going to place all of my ammo from there into my turret. I'm also going to craft a bit more ammo, and you'll notice that the ammo is automatically going towards your pistol. You don't want to use your pistol at the beginning. You want to use your submachine gun if you build one, because it A, shoots faster, and B, is a more of a range. So you click the ammo into the other inventory. Actually, click and hold and drop. And you push tab. Tab changes your weapon. Tab changes your weapon. And now we need more belts. Okay. So now we have 195 belts. That's awesome. So we need, right here, gears. I think we're just going to kind of keep with this trend here of having items on both sides of the belt. So we're going to make our gears right here and then offload over there. Keeping up with the trend. So it's going to load from the side. We're actually going to, yeah, we'll space it. Copy like that. And we're going to drop on the other side. So we just need a bit more copper. If you hover over the building, it has a little indicator of what resources you need, and it's showing that we need 22 iron plates and 4.5 copper. So we're going to snag some copper from there, make a few more of those, make a few more of these, make a few more of those. Put those right there, you right there. This building will now be able to automate red science. Missing a few inserters still, that's okay. Got those in a minute. Kind of half set up right now. Half and half. Just the way I like my coffee. Half and half. Speaking of coffee, I got a delicious and nutritious tea right here. I should probably consider drinking some of it before it gets totally cold on me. And now we have the second tier of inserters in this game. So you notice they are red. And they also look a little bit longer. That's because they are longer. So now we could technically run a belt in front of here as well if we wanted to. So you can now dump items farther and closer. Which means more possibilities. Instead of doubling up the item, you could actually pull the copper from this side and the gears from there. But for this scenario, we're going to stick with this way. This building is actually a little bit too far over, so we're going to Control C, which doesn't do anything yet. If you had bots, they would pick it up for you. Control C, Control V. Those familiar with the computer should know about that. And then we bring our science right over here, run it up there, and we will relocate our lab, and we have automated red science. So I can rip all this up. We do not need this anymore. This is an era of a bygone, a relic of a bygone era. An era of a relic bygone. Yep. Talking. And words. So I got a nice little personal stash of resources right there, which is kind of nice while you keep the burners on at first. And my iron is backlogging on me there. Now we want it on both sides of the belt, so put a splitter and force it to go on both sides. 50% goes one way and 50% goes the other way. Next, I want to automate my belts. So science is automated. Can build a few more labs if we want science to go a little bit faster. We have our protection against that little group right there. Probably build a radar next. And I'm going to assume my power is... it's holding. It's holding. It's close, but it's holding. Put you here. Grab a couple undergrounds. And we're going to make our belts here now. So you there. You're going to make belts. This is going to kind of bypass there in a second. Right now, obviously not quite working. Those are all wrong. Just waiting for our underground to come in a minute. So that goes like that. You can continue placing it nice and neatly like this if you wanted to. Remember, there's no punishment for dropping a building and picking it back up. No punishment. You can also daisy chain them. Put a power line right in the middle there. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to make a gun turret here. We're missing gears, so I can just push F on the belt and pick up the item. Which works nicely. And I'll make a few more gun turrets for myself. Dump my science back in the lab. And we are rocking and rolling. I got a radar. You see on the mini-map on the top right there? There's this little blue outline. That's what you can see permanently in that area where the radar is. The game's broken up into chunks. And you can kind of see how big a chunk is. You can see where the radar is. So the radar is here. It covers up that top little area. It goes down here. Covers that. So it does matter where you place your radar. But now I can see up over here perfectly. Radars will periodically explore a side chunk as well. So you'll see a little area eventually get explored and will temporarily have vision there. But they do use a lot of power too, 300 kilowatts. So also be kind of mindful of that. Now we'll research the next tier of science. So you go there, and now we are making belts. We have automated belts. Gonna pick you up. Put you there. And you are gonna make ammo for this guy. You can do the same thing with these. You can daisy chain them together. So you have ammo, and then you have ammo, then you have ammo. So now everybody has ammo. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Just be careful if you do it too much, that your chain's too long, and it's really hard to supply everybody. So that does work like that. You go there. Build a few more of these guys. Kind of always need inserters. But you can see everyone has power, and it's kind of protecting my general area of the factory, so hopefully they attack that and not this. So now we got a bit more power. One thing I do need in order to make more power, really should make more assemblers. Really automate the assembler production in a minute. I put a space here, just easier for placing whole big blocks of boilers down together. There is a ratio for boilers, and it's one I will give you because it's one that I find is kind of useful. So one water pump will supply 20 boilers, which will supply 40 steam engines. Don't try to do more than that. That's just kind of one of the few ratios that I follow in this game. I believe everything else should be past it, but that is kind of a tried and tested ratio, and it kind of is what it is. So set it up however you would, but it's 1 to 20 that way. I need another inserter for something. I don't remember what. What did we need another inserter for? Looks like our science is flying off the shelves right now, which is great. Our resources are kind of backed up. And we need more assemblers. We wanted a pipe, so we can make sure this is all kind of working. So now we're making 3.6 megawatts of power. Beautiful. This doesn't do anything anymore, so we'll kind of pick that up. And we'll look at our factory and be, wow, we're doing good things here. Not enough gears. We can kind of pick these up. We could make our science go faster if we really wanted to, but do we really want to? I don't know. You decide. Next thing we need to craft is we need to make green chips. Green chips are kind of an item that you need a lot of. Kind of a lot of. It's actually one of the main Factorio achievements, getting a lot of them. So we are going to do a setup like this. This is another direct insertion setup. So the wire is going to get its copper from the top. You're supposed to go there. These guys are going to grab their iron from the bottom and offload the green chips in the very, very, very bottom. Like that. Pretty simple design. If you played Factorio a little bit, you're probably familiar with green chip designs sort of like this, or a little bit different. We actually killed some biters already. We knew they were coming. But yeah, it's a pretty simple. But your first time playing, definitely experiment with different setups. Totally honest, I don't use the setup very much. This is kind of a new one for me. But yeah, there's a million different ways of doing it. This is the one that I'm choosing to do for this current episode. So we need a bit more iron to make this work. We're going to go to our personal stash of iron over down here. And we need some... Actually, just was grabbing the coal there. I don't want the coal, I want the iron. We need a couple undergrounds, a couple splitters, and some fast inserters wouldn't be bad. Not against a fast inserter. You're going to go like this. We're going to saturate that belt. And we're going to pull the line out right here. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to pull the line out right here. It's going to go there. You're going to go here. And we're going to run it across. So So again, if this is your first time playing Factorio, I'm playing a little bit fast, but just trying to kind of get through some of the beginning material. So feel free to pause the video whenever you want and kind of go back. None of what I'm doing is exactly how you should be doing it. It's just one of 500,000 different methods of what you can do. So, copper comes in to this building here. Iron comes in from the bottom into this building here, and then it offloads the green chips long. So now we're using the long inserters and the other inserters. We're kind of doing one of the big Factorio mistakes right now. And a lot of veteran players know exactly what I'm talking about. Is we're kind of walling ourselves in. You have the entire map to play with, which is infinite. It's not actually infinite, but it's might as well be infinite. Most people will never ever, including myself, experience the edge of the map. So we'll just say it's infinite. It's not, but it might as well be. So don't block yourself in like I'm doing right now. I enjoy a nice, tight pasta base. I enjoy making a bit of a mess everywhere. Kind of my MO, I guess you might say. But if you're a newer player, give yourself lots of space. That's probably my biggest tip to you. You always need space. And you can pick up buildings and move them around as much as you want, so don't feel constrained by where you place it, because it can always be moved. But always remember to keep progressing your science if possible. Don't stop. Don't stop your science. So right now we're automating inserters because we know we need inserters to build everything. But secret, you also need it for science later on. So we'll just build a ton of them right now. But hopefully you enjoyed this 2021, 2022 Factorio Pasta 0 to Pasta Mega Base guide series session. But until next we meet, this is Jamakara. Ciao for now.